with a few roll downs. So from the end of your mat, I want you to stand up nice and tall. Again, you're going to take 5 breaths here, so take a deep inhale through your nose. Feel the lungs and the chest expand. And on your exhale, just deep inhale. And keep your mouth open. Deep inhale through your nose. And exhale. 2 more. And last one. Perfect. Now we're going to go for some roll downs. So again, shoulders stacked above your hips, hips above your ankles, hands are going to start across the top of your thighs. From here, take a deep inhale in the top position. And on your exhale, chin to chest, allow the shoulders to roll in front of the body. And then slowly, we're going to start to bring your hands down towards your knees, towards your shins, and all the way down into whatever our lowest position is. Once we get there, then just begin to sweep or sway your hips side to side. This is what's called a ragdoll. So you should feel that open up through your hamstrings, through your lower back, and your upper body should just be nice and heavy. To go a wee bit more intense, you're going to hug around each elbow. And you again repeat the same thing, just slowly transitioning from side to side, and then pay attention to how that's feeling for you and where that's getting you the most. But nice and gentle, moving through that position side to side. Notice the speed that I'm moving at, just barely transitioning from side to side. Perfect. Now, just drop both hands onto the floor, slide your feet out to the sides of the mat, and then dip through the knees and sit your bum down nice and low into whatever position you have got access to. Again, once you're here, elbows come to the inside of the knees, and then lengthen up nice and tall through that chest. Again, just spend a wee bit of time here. If you want, you can just sweep your head side to side, think ear towards the shoulder. All the time, you're just breathing. Inhale, exhale, through your nose. Perfect. We're now going to walk forward, so we finish in a high plank, then we're going to go into up dog, which looks like so. Just begin to walk your hands out, lengthen out through the legs so you come into that high plank position, and then just drop onto your knees, allow your hips to fall into the floor. You can keep your arms nice and straight here and lengthen back through the toes. But what I do want to ensure that you do is that you lengthen through your neck. So pull those shoulders down and away from your ears, lengthen up through your chest. You can squeeze your bum in this position here and just hold here. If this is too intense for you, then think about dropping down onto your elbows. Again, you've still got that lovely long neck and you're thinking about chest nice and tall and proud. And just hold in here. So you should be feeling that open up through the lower back. Just taking a few breaths, allowing everything to relax. I like to kind of sway my upper body slightly through that position. And again, you'll just feel that working into your lower back. If that's too uncomfortable, then just stay in that neutral static position. Now again, from here, hands come in beside your chest. I'm going to get you to push up onto your knees, lift the hips up, and then just sit your bum backwards. So you come into what's called a child's pose. But from here, you're going to think about popping up onto your fingertips, okay? And then from there, on your inhale, the chest is going to lift slightly. So it's just going to be an exhale. Inhale, chest rises. And exhale, chest falls. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Perfect. Now allow your hands just to fall flat onto the floor, and you're going to walk both hands around towards the right hand side. Once you get there, left hand just rests on top of the right, and you continue to inch forward and downwards with your chest. that's going to feel like a big deep stretch through that lat and through that underside of the arm. Again, head just falls into the gap. You might feel a wee bit restricted there, but you should feel that deep stretch through the side of the spine. And then exact same exercise the other way. So walk your hands back through the center, all the way over towards the left. Right hand this time on top of your left. And again, chest just falls down. Feel how and where it's hitting you. And we'll come all the way back into the center. Perfect. Now we're going to go into tread the needle. So just lift the hips up until you come into that all four position. We're going to do tread the needle, but it's going to be a wee bit different than maybe what you normally would do for this position if you've been exposed to it before. So a typical tread the needle is literally, so it's going to be left hand, treads through the gap underneath my right side, and I'm going to think about dropping that shoulder to the floor. But instead of going out straight, I'm going to go in two ways. So the first way is treading down past your knee. And again, this top elbow will stay bent up as your head rests onto the floor. Okay, this is just a demo. The second one is treading up past your hand. Okay, so exact same movement, and we're just treading a wee bit differently, I suppose. So take a deep inhale from this all four position. We're going to move with our left hand. On your exhale, tread through past your knee. And again, just allow your shoulder, allow your head to rest onto the floor. And then just breathe. Inhale through the nose, and you can breathe out through the nose for a deeper, fuller sensation. Or out through the mouth. Where you should be feeling this is in through the shoulders, through the upper back region. It should be nice and deep. Again, we're going to come all the way back into the center. Then I'm going to do the exact same exercise on the other side. So now our right arm is going to thread through the gap. So take a deep inhale, and on your exhale, the right hand threads through. Again, past your knee, shoulder rests onto the floor, as does your head. And you breathe. Feel that open up. Shoulder blades should feel like they're pulling away from each other. Just breathe. It's very important whenever you're breathing, you don't forget about the exhale. Most people are really good at inhaling, and then they just brush their exhale off nearly. So do think about your inhale and your exhale being the same length and duration. So come back into the center. Now we're going to do the exact same exercise, but tread up past the hand. So again, take a deep inhale, move with the left hand. On your exhale, left hand passes up through past your right hand, and again you drop your left shoulder onto the floor, allow your head to rest, and breathe. Deep inhale, full exhale, and find that broad opening through the shoulder blades. Breathe your way to a bit of release through the shoulder blade, through the back. You're getting like a rotational stretch through the back. Inhale, we come back into neutral, back into all four, and then exact same thing on the other side. So now let's go inhale and exhale with your right hand, threads through the gap, up past your left, and breathe. Again, full inhale, full exhale. Fill up the lungs. Allow your breath to be a calming feature of tonight's class. Allow it to be full and therapeutic. And most of all, allow it to keep you present. The only moment that you have control of is right now. So breathe and be present whenever you're here. Perfect. And then again, we'll slowly come all the way back up into that upright position. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is what's called a Frogger. Really nice for your hips, for your lower back as well, and to your inner thighs and adductor region. So it can be quite intense. So make sure that you have your mat below you, or that you're on a nice soft ground. What you can also do is double up your mat so that there's a wee bit more protection under your knees. If you're good, if your mat's quite thick, then awesome. But as you are from here, you're going to try and move your knees out as wide as you can. From that all four position, I'm literally just going to sit my hips back into this position, and as I do that, you're going to try and keep your heels in line with your knees. So instead of being in like a child's pose, you're going to kick your heels out wide and then sit down nice and low. So I'm resting on my elbows, but I'm trying to sit my bum back in the gap between my knees and heels. Okay, so there's lots going on here through my hips. So just breathe your way through here. Again, once you're not breathing efficiently, that will just bring tension to the body. So do think about just that calming breath. That inhale through the nose and full exhale. If possible, again, try to do everything through the nose only, so nasal only breathing. This is just more therapeutic, it's fuller, and it'll help share more of the goodness, I suppose, around the full body. It does take a wee bit of getting used to. But breathe. All the time, just trying to sit your weight backwards. Again, quite uncomfortable to get started with, but really, really beneficial for hips, for lower back, for inner thighs. Breathe. Again, anything that we're holding for a wee bit longer, do stay attentive to what's going on in the mind as well. So stay with your breath, stay attentive to how your body's feeling. Don't let your mind drift off like it wants to. Just breathe. Super. Then again, just slowly ease yourself out of that. Press up into your hands. Move your knees in a wee bit closer. Lots going on. So hopefully you feel a wee bit better for that already. Now, from here we're going to go into what's called standing straddle position. So again, more or less the same sort of setup, but you're going to kick your hips up and you're going to come into a wide stance position. So again, if you want to watch me just for a wee second, I'm going to curl the toes in below me. My knees are going to lift off the floor. So down facing dog, for those that are familiar with it. And then you're going to think about walking your feet out. So again, my feet come out as wide as I can. And again, you're typically looking to go as wide as possible, so towards the side of the mat. And you can keep those toes curled in slightly for a wee bit more grip. If you have socks on, it will feel a wee bit less uncomfortable, more uncomfortable. But as you are from here now, you're going to think about walking your hands backwards. So again, your hands finish in line with your feet. And then from here, whatever works for you, you can drop your head that wee bit closer to the floor if you wish. Or you can keep the back and the arms nice and straight and hold here. Again, if that's too much, you can just walk your hands out so you're more of in an all four position. Back line nice and straight. But where I want you to be feeling this is in through the inner thighs. Hamstrings are all going to be feeling it. So again, find what works for you. Arms out all four, or walk your hands in so that they are in line with your heels, and lower your head towards the floor. Deep inhale, full exhale. And hold in. 2 more breaths. Deep inhale, full exhale. And then last one. Lovely. Okay, cool. Now, just walk your hands around the mat so that both feet are now going to turn and they're going to face towards the left-hand side. And you're going to allow that right knee to drop onto the floor. You probably might feel like you want to shimmy backwards a wee bit with your left foot as well, and that's cool. Okay, so from here we're going to go a wee bit dynamic, just because we've been in a few holds, and then we'll go back into a longer hold. So the first one we're going to do is going to start in this position here. So you'll see that my hips have fell the direction of the floor. I've got a knee bent in this front side. Hands are just down on the floor, either on the inside of my left foot. And then from here we're going to transition from position 1 to position 2. Okay, so hips are up, legs straightens out. You'll see there's a soft bend still there, but hands are in front of me. Again, I lean forward and I lean back. So just do 10 of those, okay? So 5 in each position, keeping the toe down, breathing your way through it. Keep the chest up nice and tall here. And then again, you might find a wee bit of a rounding through the spine here. And then again, bend. Paying attention to what's working, what's creaking, cracking for you, and then just stay attentive to your breath. Here we're getting more hamstrings, anterior tibialis, ankle mobility, and here we're getting hips and we're getting a bit of a calf stretch, bit of Achilles stretch, but mainly hips on this side here. Hips and hamstrings. Again. Perfect. We're now going to switch over sides, okay? So just step back with that left leg, and then our right leg folds up to the other side again. Again, folks, same setup. Hands rest on the inside of the right knee. Yep. And then from there, you allow the hips to fall downwards and forwards. Position 1. We fold backwards. Position 2. Moving nice and slow. Try not to race or rush your way through it. Pay attention to how the body is feeling and responding here. And as you complete your reps, you should feel like you're getting a wee bit easier, that you're moving a wee bit deeper or freer. Lovely. Okay, so from here, guys, we're going to step back with that right leg and come back into that all-four position. From here, then, we're going to go down onto our elbows, and we're going to think about a dolphin pose. So just pop down onto your elbows, and again from here, you're going to just start with your hands at elbow width, shoulder width, away from each other. Palms are going to rest onto the floor and in front of you, and then from here, I'm going to curl my toes away, and I'm going to lift my hips up nice and tall towards the ceiling. As I do that, I'm going to pull my head in towards my body. So kind of like a reduced arm length, down facing dog. So from here, I'll lift my hips up. You might want to step in slightly, and you're going to hold here. So here, getting lots going on through my calves, through my Achilles. I'll open up through that upper back. For 3, 2, 1, and then again just drop onto both knees and lift up to the chest. You come into all four. Awesome stuff. So just make your way over onto your bum and start with a bent knee position. Again, we're going to work with the rotation just either side, and then we're going to go into some longer holds. So with both knees bent up, again we're looking for a tall, lengthened spinal position. So from the side, as opposed to rolling through the spine, you're thinking about chest moves that wee bit closer towards your thighs, and you'll feel that there on the bony parts of your bum, which is where we're looking to get, okay, or where we're looking to be positioned. So from here, we're just going to do 4 rotations, okay? It doesn't matter which side you start with, but one hand goes to the floor behind you. Again, try not to overreach. You're trying to stay nice and tall and close, and then opposite elbow comes across. Pull both shoulders away from each other. Breathe for 1, 2, 3, and then we switch all the way around to the second side. Again, think belly button and chest up. Pull the shoulders away from each other. Look over the back shoulder. That's 2. Sweep to the center, hand to the floor, elbow to the outside of the knee. Look over. 1, 2, 3, and the last one, hand to the floor, elbow to the outside of the knee, pull the shoulders away, and then look over that back shoulder. Perfect. Super. So, as we come back into the centre, hugging around both knees, again you're just going to rock yourself back onto the floor, and then from here, with both knees hugged in, you're just going to kick out with the left leg. Left heel is going to rest in contact with the floor. Hugging in with that right knee, you're going to allow it to drop to that left hand side. So again, allow it to be heavy. You don't want to be holding it. The knee might still be off the floor, but as long as the toe's up there, that's all that matters. And then from there, I'm going to use my left hand to rest over the top of that right knee. And I'm going to reach out through my right hand, look over towards my right shoulder, and we're going to hold there. So I'm just going to turn around to the camera so you can see. So it looks like that. My right knee drops to the floor on the left hand side. My right hand reaches out and I look over at that side. Where you should be feeling that is the whole way in across the lower back. You should feel it slightly through your pec minor and also through your neck region. Hold in here, 2 more breaths. Super. And again, we just make our way back up into the center. Once you get here, we're going to sweep back up into a seated position. So hugging around that leg, rock yourself back up into that seated position. Now we're going to go into a straight leg forward fold. So again, both butt cheeks are sitting on the floor, and my right leg is folded up, my left leg is straight. We're going to bring that right arm on the inside of the right knee, and then from here, you're going to think about reaching down as low down on your left leg as possible, keeping the toes up and spread through those toes. Hands may rest on your shins, or you might be able to go a wee bit deeper and hugging around your feet. Either way, think about chest up and you're looking towards your big toe. Hold here. Deep inhale, full exhale. Now again, with this knee here, it will feel a wee bit more restricted for that forward lean, but you will feel that open up through that hip most definitely once you come out of it. So just breathe your way through it here. Should be getting hamstring, lower back, and we are getting hip on this side as well. So just breathe your way through it. So pay attention to how your body's feeling here. Again, I like to think about keeping that foot active whenever you're here. So think about spreading out through your toes. Can you do it? Most people can't, but do spend a wee bit of time and just liven up that foot, getting your feet to work as individually as possible. Getting them strong from the ground or the earth up. And just breathe. Lovely. And then again, slowly ease your way up and out of that. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So again, I'll sweep around. I'm going to fold up with that left leg so both legs are bent up again. Start tall and then begin to roll yourself back onto your back. As we get here, same sequence just on the other side. So now we're going to think about right leg kicks out. Right leg nice and straight, heel to the floor. Hug in with that left leg. Feel how good the hips already feel. And now just pass that left leg over towards the right hand side. And as we do that, you're going to sweep and reach out with your left hand. Look in towards the left fingertips and hold here. Breathe. A deep inhale and a full exhale. A deep inhale and a full exhale. Again, pay attention to where you're feeling that, and then use your breath to bring you a wee bit more comfort. Continuing to look over your left shoulder to exaggerate the stretch even further. For 2, 1, and then slowly ease or make your way back into the center. Again, with this left knee bent up, you're going to swing yourself back up into that seated position with your left leg still folded up. Now your right leg kicks out. Now your left elbow comes to the inside, and now we fold forward towards your right leg. Again, that can be in around your shin, that could be in around your ankle. This is more challenging because you've got this nearly a blockage in front of you. So just be patient with yourself. Again, think about chest up nice and tall, and that will keep you in a more active stretching position. So just breathe. Deep inhale, full exhale. Deep inhale, full exhale. Again, acknowledge where that's feeling or hitting you. Perfect. And again, we'll come all the way back up to the top. You're going to let that left leg come out now and join the right leg. And again, from here, you're going to do a wee bit of plantar flexion with your feet, which simply means you're going to point your toes away from you, and that's just going to start to work the feet on the underside of the foot, and it's also going to start to open up through your shins. Okay, so also strengthen those. So from here again, lift up nice and tall through the chest, feel for the bony parts of your bum, sweep your hands out wide into the ceiling, and then on your exhale, fold forward. So again, it doesn't matter where your hands are, they can rest on the floor either side, they can rest on your shins, or you can use your hands just to kind of push your toes away. Does not matter. Either way, from here again, see how I lengthen up my spine, so you're thinking about pushing forward with your belly button, lift and rise with the chest, and hold here. So this is really nice again for anybody who does a lot of running or wears heels and they feel like they've got shin splints all the time with that hard surface. So this will start to mobilise, strengthen the ankles, strengthen the shins, and is good for the long-term foot health as well. Perfect. 3, keep that chest up nice and tall. 2, 1, lovely. Perfect. So again, come all the way back up into that neutral spinal position. We're just going to do a few lateral reaches here. Again, because we've done a lot of forward fold, we're just going to kind of neutralise and balance things up. So again, we're going to work for four flows. Sorry, you can pull the toes back up. 4 flows, and you've got your hand or your elbow to the floor. So I'll show you both ways. First one is hand. What I do want to see is that you don't let that shoulder come up and towards your jawline. So think about hand flat, shoulder comes away, and then you're going to lift towards the ceiling with your free hand, or right in this circumstance, and I'm going to laterally lower. See here how that elbow lowers as well. Or again, you have the option of dropping onto the elbow and then reaching from here. Okay. What I do want to see is this hip cheek lifting up, so do try to sit backwards and down, and then into that lateral reach. Okay. So we're going to do 4 of those. So sit nice and tall. Let's go left hand to the floor. And again, just allow that left shoulder to fold away as your right hand comes up and over. Stay here or sink that wee bit lower onto your elbow and continuing to reach. Deep inhale, full exhale for 2. Deep inhale, full exhale for 2. Then come all the way back up to the center and then just straight into the second side. So now my right hand goes to the floor, right hand or elbow. Again, we lift and we reach. Feel that laterally open up through the spine. Deep inhale through the nose. Full therapeutic exhale through the mouth, through the nose, whatever works for you. Inhale back to the center. One more time on each side. So again, left hand, right hand to the roof. Super. And again, we return to the center. Now again, right side, right hand to the floor, left hand to the ceiling. Laterally fold up and over. Perfect. Cool. Okay, so again, from here, folks, we're going to go into a bit of a butterfly shape or position. So you're going to fold up with both knees. You're going to allow the knees to fall out to the side. As you do that, you'll notice that the soles of the feet come together, and this is perfectly cool. So what I'm looking to see here is that you're going to lift up through your hips, through your pelvis, so you come up as tall as you can. We're literally going to hold in around the base of the foot here or the ankle bone. So again, you're thinking about, can I push my chest further forward? We'll sit here for a second or two. Feel the length into your spinal column. Aiming to drop the knees that wee bit closer to the floor. But bear in mind, they mightn't want to move that much. So focus ultimately on that tall, lengthened spinal position. Now we're going to introduce a fold forward now in a second. So to do this, you may feel more comfortable by walking your hands towards your feet and literally just hugging around your feet. Then bend the elbows and you're going to bring your head that wee bit closer to your toesies. Find what works for you here. Find your breath. As you do that, that's going to want to open up through the hips, open up to the lower back. And you'll also get that curvature through the spine. So that'll be a nice release of tension through the upper back as well, in around that shoulder blade region. So just, again, pay attention. What's happening here for you? How does it feel? Compare right side to left side. And breathe. You allow your head to be heavy if you want. Probably full curvature. Again, as always, just breathe your way through it. Lovely. Again, peel backwards with the chest, with the shoulders. Let's close up that joint, so bring the knees back towards each other again. And again, we're going to complement that with more of a strength exercise, I suppose. So you're going to come into what's called a boat position. So same sort of setup, okay? Again, I'm focusing on, can I feel the bony parts here of my bum, and my chest is nice and close towards my thighs. From here, what we're going to do, again, you've got a few different options and you can choose what works best for you. It is a more of a balancing position. It is a core strength exercise, but really, really nice. So we've got a few options. Option one, okay, is about thinking about sitting up nice and tall, okay, holding on to my knees. And then from here, I'm going to lift up, just, you can hold them, behind. Lift up one leg at a time, okay, whilst keeping this tall spinal position. If that's too easy, we can think about lifting up both feet, but you can hug around the base of the foot. So hold here, okay, so elbows are on the outside of my knees, heels are off the floor, I'm resting onto the sit bones, but my spine is tall. So what I don't want to see is this curving spine. You're thinking about keeping your chest as close towards your knees as possible. Alright, if this is too easy, then you're going to think about, can I straighten out my legs? Again, once you do that, you're thinking about chest nice and tall and you're looking towards your toes. So find your breath. If this is too tough, you can just sit back into the more of a bent knee position. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just slowly bend into both knees and drop your heels back in contact with the floor. Awesome stuff. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do now is you're going to spin over and you're going to come over onto your belly. So, I'll go face on again. So lower down onto your belly. Oh. And then, so what we're going to do from here, we're going to go into a quad stretch. Again, depending on your ability or mobility, you're either going to think about doing one leg at a time, just a typical quad stretch that you probably do in warm-ups for the gym, or you're going to go 2 legs at a time, or you're going to go into your parachute pose, which again is more or less keeping as little of the body on the floor as possible, hands onto the feet and lifting up off the floor. So imagine you're jumping out of an airplane. Okay, so again, I'll take that quickly through from the top. First position is holding on to one heel. Again, you decide which side you start with, but you're looking to pull that heel in towards the body. Again, not out here to the side, heel comes into the bum and you're pulling it in, okay? If that's too easy, you'll go on to 2 legs. So again, exact same thing, I'm pulling my heels into my bum. You'll see here that I'm pulling backwards with my shoulders slightly. And again, if you want to progress from here, then you're going to think about, okay, can I lift higher off the floor? And in order to do that, I'm going to push my feet into my hands, and that just lifts me up higher. So breathe. If this is too tough, drop it back down. Go into one of the previous positions for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly lower it back down. We're going to come back into Sphinx pose. So hands onto the floor in front of you, so our elbows onto the floor, and just lift up with the chest. Again, both of these are mainly for the lower back, giving you a wee bit of space, a wee bit of release. Just think about head and the chest up. Find some space, breathe into that lower back, and nice bit of release of tension. Breathe. Again, I like to do that with gentle sway, just more or less to pass the stretch or a bit of mobility from side to side. Dropping down to the chin. Hands come in beside the body again. You're going to push back up into that down facing dog. So again, if you need to use your knees, do so. Back to your knees. Roll over the toes and then hips come up nice and tall. From here again, you're looking hip width apart with the feet. You're looking to push your bum backwards towards the wall behind you. And as you do that, you look in through the gap towards your knees or towards the back wall. So just from the side view. Again, this is it here. If you haven't got your feet close or comfortable to the floor, that's okay. You can play about just with a bit of a heel lift. You can bend your knees softly, and then again, just one leg at a time, just sweeping side to side. Either way, just breathe. Find some more space through the back end of the body. Looking in towards your knees. We're then going to walk our hands back in towards your body. Nice and slow, I want you to walk your hands all the way up your limbs again, so that your shoulders come up last and you're finishing in standing position. Lovely. Okay, so what we're going to do here, folks, okay, I know my head cuts off here slightly, but you don't need to see it. So what we're going to do is go into a tree pose, okay, which is a very common yoga pose. So again, you've got a few different options, okay. First option is you're going to go with your left leg to the floor, and then your right leg is going to be the leg that's working. So notice here how I'm nearly up onto the tiptoes of my right limb, okay. Then you're going to open up from the hip, okay. So my hip just opens up to the side. As I do that, I'm going to position my right heel on top of my left ankle nearly, okay. Now notice as I open up that knee, my hips don't open, okay. I'm literally staying in the same position, but my knee opens out to the side. So you want that right knee out to the side as much as you possibly can. So two positions. Position 1 is here, okay? Position 2, and if you have balance, again with socks on, it's a wee bit more challenging. That ankle goes right into the hip crease of your straight leg. I'm pushing into the big toes, okay? That's my stability, and that knee continues to open out to the side. Once you got here, you got prayer position in front of your chest, and then hands up over the top of your head. And breathe. Now push into that left big toe for your stability. What I don't want to see with this knee is that it's pushing in against, this heel. I don't want this heel pushing against your knee. That's not cool. So it has to go above or below that knee joint on your left leg. And then just breathe and hold. Find balance by focusing in on your Trishti, which is your stair, I suppose. Pick a spot on the wall or a spot on the floor. And then use your breath to keep you centered. 3, 2, 1. And then again, slowly release those hands. Take that foot out. Turn the knee joint back into the center. And then exact same thing on the other side. So again, let's go right foot to the floor. Onto the ball of the foot of your left. And then I'm going to open that side out. Okay, so again, turn that knee out. So it's in line with the body. Again, position 1, rest on top of your ankle. Position 2, I go right up into that hip crease. Again, nodding around the knee. Once you've got that, hands together, and then hands up over the top of the head. Find your breath. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Lovely. And again, we come all the way back down into center. We release our hand position and we drop onto the floor with that foot. Perfect. Again, what I'm going to finish with, folks, is just a bit of standing sprint start position, and you're going to step back into a lunge position or warrior. We're going to do it twice on each side just, and then that is us finito. So I'm going to get you to come to the front of your mat or the front of your position. You're going to stand up nice and tall. You're going to hug in with one knee. Okay, so again, notice that I'm just straightening out with that standing leg, hugging that knee up and towards my chest, and that'll give you relief into the lower back, into the hip, pushing into the toes of my planted foot. I'm going to hold here for a second or two. Then I'm going to release that position. I'm going to take an exaggerated step back into that warrior position. So I'm up onto the toes, the back foot. Everything's facing forward. I sink into that back knee and then I reach up with both hands. If this is too much, I can drop that back knee to the floor. Otherwise, hold here. Deep inhale. Full exhale. Deep inhale. Full exhale. One more time. Perfect. Release through the hands and then just step back into the start position. Perfect. Exact same thing now on the other side. So let's go with our left leg up. Hug that left knee in towards your body. Press into your planted foot. Hug the left knee in. Stand tall. Find balance. And then again with that exaggerated step backwards, stand onto the ball of the foot. Now reach up nice and tall with both hands. Hold here. Again, you've got the option to drop that back knee to the floor. Otherwise, breathe. Lovely. Release through the hands and we step forward into that standing position. And that, folks, is us. Hopefully you enjoyed that. A lovely, slow, holding